CD Projekt Red just announced a brand new Cyberpunk game to expand on the Cyberpunk universe is in the works. Not only that, but there's a big DLC coming out in 2023 for Cyberpunk, as well as a ton of improvements and changes that have happened to the game over the past year or year and a half. Today, I wanted to talk to you about all of the things that have changed in Cyberpunk and why now is a good time to dive in. As I played at launch, I had an okay experience with the game, but I recently picked it back up, and I got to experience some of the massive changes they've made to it, and I think it's a really good time to play Cyberpunk. I want to share why. Let's get right into it. Now, Cyberpunk was a major flop. That's no secret. It was overpromised and under-delivered. There was a lot of insight to what actually happened behind the scenes and why Cyberpunk launched in the state that it did, but as we know, the game didn't really run well, and it was riddled with bugs and glitches. It wasn't the game that it was supposed to be. Now, fast forward a year and a half, 2 years later, a lot of things have changed. I recently started a new playthrough in Cyberpunk, and I've been having a ton of fun. Beep, beep. Excuse me. Now, Cyberpunk still is lacking a lot of the RPG features that were kind of originally promised for the game, but it's more of a open world action game than it is a RPG, and once you accept that fact, you can come to appreciate the game and the thing that it offers and all the fun that there is to be had here. And the best things that I noticed when playing the game currently versus at launch is, one, the city just feels much better. There's more AI everywhere. They respond better to you. There's less of like the exact same AI walking back and forth. It just feels there's a lot of little changes here and there. There's changes to the driving. There's changes to the enemies that you fight. They've changed the skill trees. They've changed the way that the guns perform and feel. They've added new attachments. They've decreased the cost of buying a lot of things. They've rewarded you more money from completing missions. There's a ton of little changes, and I can't go over all of them in this video, but what they sum up to be is a more immersive experience in Cyberpunk 2077, and they make the character of the city a lot more compelling. You will get more lost in the city. I still don't know if I could recommend this game on last-gen consoles. It seems like last-gen consoles are kind of being left in the wayside. This game still, like, the way that they've been able to buff up performance on last-gen consoles is basically removing a lot of that AI. So if you focus on this as like a story-driven action game on last-gen consoles, I think you could still have a lot of fun. But I do think if you're going to play this game, the preferred platforms are definitely PC and next-gen consoles. And that kind of leads us to current Cyberpunk and what's to come for the game. Currently, the game is seeing a resurgence in players due to the success of the Edgerunners anime on Netflix. If you haven't seen it yet, it's fantastic. Really enjoyed it. And they added a bunch of the like guns and cosmetics into the game if you're into that in 1.6. 1.7 patch is on the way. That's going to be reworking the cop system. The cop system is probably the worst part about Cyberpunk, honestly. The cops still randomly spawn. There's still no real police chases. They're reworking that. They're adding being able to like fire out of your vehicle while you're moving, and cops will fire out of their vehicles while they're chasing you, so there should be more dynamic police chases and engagement with them. They're also adding changes to max tech, which from the anime and also from the game. In the anime, they're kind of crazy. In the game, they don't really do anything. So Max Tech's getting some changes. They're adding a new gameplay loop for melee combat and further actions for the perk trees relating to melee. Mainly looking forward to that cop rework. And they're also adding some new cyberware mechanics and possibly more slots for cyberware. So that's on the like very close future for the game. In 2023, we're getting the Phantom Liberty DLC, which includes more content and a return to Keanu Reeves' Johnny Silverhand. We do not have a confirmed date for that. In addition to that, they also just announced today that they're working on Cyberpunk project codename Orion, which is in the works and is going to be an expansion of the Cyberpunk universe, basically Cyberpunk 2077 2. We don't know about any details on it besides that they're working on it, and who knows when it'll come out. My only hope for that game is that they delay it or work long enough on it that they can launch it as a finished project. I'm sure they've learned their lesson with Cyberpunk 2077. And that's going to do it for our video. Just a little update on what's happening in the Cyberpunk universe, because there's a lot going on. I will have in the description some patch notes if you want to read up on more specific changes. The big takeaways are that driving feels better, performance feels better, the city feels better, and it's a real fun game. If you haven't played it, or if you played it once at launch and then really haven't touched it since, now's a good time to dive back in because of all of the things that they've changed, but also all of the things that are coming to the game. I've been enjoying my time with it, and I wanted to share that with y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you found it informative, I do appreciate you dropping a like, comment, hey, maybe even subscribing. I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.